While memed on as a joke of a raid, Heroic TOGC does have one challenging fight, and that's obviously Heroic Anub'arak. About half the groups raiding on 25-man difficulty have been unable to get it down at the time of this recording. Although some groups struggle with the burrow phase, the biggest issue comes with phase 3 healing. This phase is so difficult because of the combination of penetrating cold, leeching swarm, and high tank damage when the adds get stacking debuffs. This guide will allow healers to overcome these mechanics with efficient heals that keep people alive while not overhealing the boss. First up, we got Leeching Swarm. While you may think this is a golden opportunity to pump your heals, get a crazy healer parse, and pop off, you were wrong. Leeching Swarm will absorb 10% of all players' current max HP every second, with a minimum of 250 HP leeched per target. So, while at the phase transition, players will quickly lose a lot of HP. However, it will hit the minimum heal leeched at that 5-10% HP remaining for party members. So, just to show how much extra healing you can cause to a noob by spamming, assuming players have an average HP value of 30,000, and then they are kept at half HP, so 15,000, they will be losing 1.5k a second from leech, and then 1500 times 25 is 37,500 healing. Assuming your raid is doing 150,000 damage a second during phase 3, that means you're losing 25% of your total damage that just gets healed back. This lengthens the time you have to get more penetrating cold deaths, tanks will have more debuffs and get more likelihood to be dead, and your damage will also start to lessen as you become a longer and longer part of the phase where you don't have hero or other major buffs. Compared to leaving people at 5-10% HP where they only have 200 HP leech per second. 250 times 25 is 6,250, about 6 times less than the people taking, the leech damage at 50%. So, how do we get people to sit at this 5-10% HP range? H-Pallies with Holy Light Splash and Judging Light should cover melee groups. S-Priests and Shamans can also provide party-wide healing with Healing Stream Totem and Vampiric Embrace. You're going to want 3 total between Shamans and S-Priests to cover ranged and healer groups, and then H-Pal Holy Lights and a Judge of Light will cover your 2 melee plus tank groups. This way, there is no need to have any healer bombing extra heals in the raid. They can focus on their penetrating cold targets or the tanks. Also, make sure you have a nature resist aspect or totem down. This will obviously help reduce that amount as well. It will not reduce the overall minimum though. Penetrating cold. At given intervals, 5 players will be given this debuff, which hits for 6k per tick if unmitigated. But you can use Raid Sacks and Aura Mastery Frost Auras to reduce this damage. Also make sure you have a baseline Frost Resist Aura or other means obviously. Now, assuming you run 5 healers, that works out where each healer can get their own mark. You don't need to spam this target, get them right about 50% HP, then throw a heal back onto the tank, and then you can basically just rotate between the two. Although a class like Druid can basically just put HOTS on, and the target should be fine. Use DBM marks to give everyone an assigned target, and this weak aura will highlight your target. You can also set Voodoo or other add-ons to only show the mark you need if you get overwhelmed, but if other healers die, you will need to help cover others. For the cooldowns, we use 1 Raid Sack, we have 3 between our Prop Pally and 2 H-Pals, per new Penetrating Cold. You can also weave in Frost Aura Masteries in combination or after. You can also use the Frost Aura Masteries first, as the tank damage will get worse later in the fights if you slow down add damage and you kind of focus on the boss. Plus with hero rolling, the extra heals at first on the tank should be enough to keep them up. And then we got tank healing. The main tank and the off tanks will still be taking heavy damage. If you hero right as phase 3 starts, don't pop cooldowns like defensive ones right away unless you get unlucky or are too slow to prevent high stacks of the debuff. Coordinate and ration out cooldowns. Don't use Last Stand in combination with Shield Wall or Divine Prot and Pain Suppress at the same time. It will take a few attempts to feel out a pattern, but with repetition, you get a good feel from the damage is really going to start spiking. In summary, don't raid heal unless your comp is unable to get group healing in each of the groups. If you really don't have this for some reason, then have one healer downrank a party or AoE spell and have them use it every 5 to 6 seconds for those groups. Assign everyone a penetrating cold target, but don't focus heal them the whole time. Swap between the tank and them. Just aim to get them above 50% each time it ticks. For tank healing, you need consistent heals on them and ration out cooldowns for each ad wave as they apply stacking debuffs. It will likely take 5 to 10 attempts to learn this phase, but stick with it and talk it out with your healers and tanks. Stay disciplined, no pun intended, and this boss should die quickly. Let me know if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Subscribe for more content, I got some videos on Hardcore WoW, Heroic++s, and at this guide coming out soon. Take care, hope to see you all soon.